Guys, this is Lori. Today I'm standing outside. It's beautiful outside. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon. I just wanted to talk to you about something that's been weighing pretty heavy on my heart. There's a couple different things, and I can't do them both in one video because if I do, I'm going to end up going too long, and I don't want to lose you on this. It's pretty important stuff. So I might even do a whole series on it. I'm not sure, but I know that I've been called to do this because every day it's on my mind. It's there. It's like post it. I know it's God telling me to share it, and it's me that's been kind of delaying because I'm really not sure how to get out and say what I really want to say because it's such an important subject. I also need to work on my testimony. That one's going to be a long one, so I'm trying to bring that down. I know there were some things I didn't want to make public until my mom crossed over, which she has, and because she has a lot to do with the early part of it. But anyway, what I really wanted to talk about was deception through spirit. Okay, there's two different things. One, the other video I make is going to be about people that are always constantly being brought down by spirit in a spiritual way, not believing that, maybe not knowing that, and being hammered all their life. But this one is about spiritual deception. It happens to many people. And first, let me just say, if you don't know who I am, I'm a life coach and a spiritual teacher, and I do a lot of work with people that are dealing with death and with grief and loss of all different kinds. But I deal with people on, everyday issues as well. I deal a lot in the energy world, in the world of spirit. I mean, we live in the physical realm, and the physical realm is what we know, it's what we see, it's what we feel, it's what we can touch. But there's a very real spirit realm. I mean, we are only just a minute part of the whole big picture. And I think a lot of people, even now, even though, a lot of stuff has become the norm, it's mainstream now, it doesn't mean it's the truth. There's a lot of deception in the mainstream of people that talk about spirituality and do not add truth into it. There's a lot of deception going around. But we all need to be careful because as you grow, as you raise your vibration, and you get more connected to God, the attacks are going to get stronger from the other side. I know some of you that I'm talking to have probably never even considered energy. Some of you may not know what I'm talking about. Some of you may have lived in energy all your life. Let me explain a little bit. I mean, I was born really connected. I came into this world that way. It's not anything that I did. I was called to it all my life. I was born almost plagued by spirits. And as I got older, and I didn't understand any of that. I didn't know what it was. It just was. And still, I hear, I see, I feel things that other people don't hear, see, and feel. I don't like to call myself a psychic because there's such a negative vibe to that. That's not what I'm called to do. I'm not called to be one of those people. I don't know. I don't want to get into anything and make it sound like I'm putting anybody down. There's too important of a message here. So what I want to talk about is being fooled, being deceived. So the more you open up to the spirit world, and that can happen in any way. Sometimes it happens through extensive grief. Sometimes that happens through, your heart may be broken wide open. It may happen because you meet a certain person. Somehow, we're all connected spiritually anyway. We are all absolutely connected. We're not alone. No man is an island, and there's much more to us. We're body, soul, and spirit. We've got our mind, we've got our consciousness, we've got our body, we've got our feelings, we've got our will. But we also have a spirit, and the spirit lives on, okay? And there's a spiritual battle going on all around us. And if you're very new to this, you might think it's all kooky stuff. And if you've been in it a while, you know what I'm talking about, and I don't want to lose you here. But there is a spiritual battle going on all around. God is real, the devil is real, and the devil and his counterparts are out to kill, steal, and destroy each and every one of us. Now, if you don't care much for the spirit realm, if you're not open, they really don't bother much with you. But the more you open up, the more you're involved in this fight. We're all involved in the fight anyway. But the more you open up, the more dangerous you become, the more the attacks happen, okay? And what I wanted to talk about today is those attacks that may not seem like an attack. It may seem like everything's wonderful. Have you ever been overwhelmed by an energy? And you can't explain it. You don't know what it is. You meet another person and you feel totally and absolutely connected. You need to be with that person, okay? Or some place, you feel called to a certain place. And I'm not talking about just liking someone or just being attracted to someone. I'm talking to the point where that's all you can think about. You're obsessing over it. You're not thinking clearly. You're seeing signs everywhere you go. That person's name is there, or that state is there, or that place, or whatever it is. You can't think straight. You may even see or feel things that you've never seen or felt before. Right now, especially, this has been happening since the beginning of time, but right now, especially, the veil seems very thin, and it seems like the attacks are getting harder. The people that have never dealt with energy at all are being attacked, are being opened up. And there's a whole gamut out there of people who claim to know about this kind of stuff. And some of them on purpose are part of the deception, and some of them are part of the deception without even realizing it because they have also been fooled. So what I want you to do is, if you're feeling this, if you're caught up in like a whirlwind, I want you to realize a couple things. First of all, realize that this physical realm is not all there is. No matter what your beliefs are, no matter what you've been taught, where you're going with this, know that to be true. Let's just take that, even if you doubt it, let's just take it. It's a given, okay? We'll just say, just for argument's sake, we believe that this is true. Secondly, if you're not standing firm in faith, if you don't really know much about the spirit realm, or if you are angry at God because maybe you lost somebody dear to you, or things didn't go right, or whatever it may be, you're feeling unsettled in your life, whether you made poor choices or different things have happened to you. If you're not firm in your beliefs, firm in your faith, you need to stand guarded. If you're not protected, if you're not living in a shield of protection, you can be fooled. And if you're fooled, that can lead to disaster. So let me just give you an example of the disaster. You feel really led to go to a different place, I don't know, a different state or something like that. And you are pulled completely, and everything that you hold dear to you, you risk losing. But this pull is just out of control. You can't stop it. You can't stop thinking about it. You can't stop dreaming about it. It's there. It's everywhere. It's everywhere you look. So you make some choices. We all have free will here. So you make some choices and you go with it. Now, if that was from God and it's truly a connection where you're supposed to be, I'm not saying everything's going to be perfect, but things are going to work out in a way that you know it's meant to be. Even through the hard times, you're going to have peace. You're going to be helping other people. You're going to be growing at a spiritual level. And you're going to know that with the peace in your heart, that you're close to God, you've grown leaps and bounds, and everybody involved is going to grow. You're going to meet the right people. You're going to do the right things, and you're going to grow, and it's going to lead you to exactly where you're supposed to be on your path. If you're being fooled, you're going to go, and you're going to lose that which is dear to you. And you're going to get there, and it's not going to be at all what you thought it was. You may even live there a year without realizing it. But then disaster is going to strike. And it's not going to be of God at all. You're going to see that there's evil in this. And you get hurt very deeply. you may lose out physically. I mean, in the physical realm, even if you're gaining all kinds of money and stuff, if it's not of God, it's going to turn around. I mean, look at all these celebrities that end up taking their own lives. They're what they were led to do. I mean, I'm sure that, let's say a musician is deceived. I'm sure that musical talent, that God-given talent, was exactly that. It was God-given. And they were supposed to do something with it that would cause growth, that would raise their vibration, that would help others, that would lead others where they need to be, whatever it is. I mean, it could be any number of things. With God, all things are possible, but he gives us all our gifts for a reason. So he's presented with this. If it's God-given, he changes the world somehow. He grows spiritually. He's connected. Life doesn't always go his way. He's still going to face tragedy, but he has a peace about him. And he's helping others. And it's always of the light. It's always pure. He has nothing to hide. There's no shame. It's always pure. He can walk in the daylight. If he's being deceived and he goes, okay, he might make millions, right? And he's all famous and everything, but he loses that which is dear to him. His family's not talking to him. He hurts people along the way. Oh, it's just another casualty. It's just part of it. He becomes bitter. He becomes angry. Maybe he starts using drugs or alcohol. And there's no peace. There's never any peace. See, God can present, and God does show signs and wonders, and God does lead us, absolutely. But if we're not close to him when we're doing this, and we don't even give God a second thought, we're following these vibes that we're getting, and we're being led through deception, it's a counterfeit. What it is it's the negative side counterfeiting what God created, and he'll use the negative side will use whatever is God-given and twist it into a counterfeit. And before you know it, you're wrapped up in it, and everything's gone, and you're empty inside. You might have $1 million, you might have a big castle on the hill, but even that is not going to make you happy. Even that, who knows, maybe now everybody wants that money, so now you're wrapped up with people you shouldn't be wrapped up with. Whatever the case may be, it turns out negative. So this is kind of a warning. I see it happening with several people. There's one couple I think about when I'm talking about this. It's very, very sad. From the outside looking in, especially, with spiritual eyes, I can see where he is extremely deceived. He doesn't see it, though. He's living his dream. He's living what he feels he's called to live. I fear for what's going to happen to him, because it could take him 2 months to figure it out. It could take him 10 years. It could cost him his soul. It could cost him his family. It could cost him all the people he loves. So if you feel really drawn, really pulled by some energy, could it be God? Absolutely, it could be God, but we're supposed to test all the spirits. So test them. You know what? If it's for real, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to test it. If you're being fooled, it's going to blow up. You're going to see it. You're going to see it blow up. If you go to test it, you say, you know what? I'm not taking this just at face value. I want to know. I want to know if this is true. And then you pay attention. You're going to see. And might as well have it blow up right at the beginning than fall into it and lose everything. Everything. It's funny how we worry so much about our retirement and what we're going to do when we get older, but we don't worry too much about eternity, right? But this is the kind of stuff that leads to eternity, all right? Not only is it going to mess you up physically here in the spirit realm, in the physical realm, it's going to mess you up potentially in a real big way. I see it happening all around. That's why I feel really drawn. And I know, like I said before, I know it's been happening since the beginning of time. But it seems like right now the veil is very, very thin. There's a lot of people confused, a lot of people angry. There's a lot of false teachers out there, a lot. And they can make everything sound right. Even them, test them. Find out where their faith is. And if you're going through something like this, look at it. I know it's hard when you're going through this to look at something logically, and logic isn't always the answer, but God is. So you want to go to him. You want to go to him and you want to find out if this is right. He'll let you know. If you turn to him, he'll protect you. If it's a deception, he'll protect you. If you trust in him and know that he's going to tell you the truth, and don't be afraid, because if you're being fooled and you think like, this is something I really need and God says it's not, don't go against God. Realize it's a deception. I think that's a lot of mistakes that we make. I hope I'm making sense to somebody. Somebody that doesn't know anything about energy or the spirit realm might be thinking, what is she talking about? But if this ever happens to you, you'll absolutely know what I'm talking about. It's like a whirlwind of energy. It can leave you flying higher than any drug you've ever tried. It lifts you up. And even in the deception, it makes you feel so good while it's happening, It's not good. Evil has many disguises, okay? So keep yourself protected. Pray every day. I like to always, at the end of the day, just do a quick daily review, see what's going on. But keep yourself protected. Keep yourself protected by love, forgiveness. Walk in gratitude, forgiveness, and love. And just because something feels good doesn't mean it is good. Don't let your heart deceive you, okay? I'm going to be talking more and more about the spirit realm because I feel like this is just so important. And even as I close this video, I feel like I didn't get it out to the extent that I should have. So I think I might do a live interactive seminar or webinar on this, just so that we can have a dialogue going back and forth. That might open it up a little bit more. But this is real important stuff, okay? So just stay protected, and you know what? If you're caught up in something like this, if you don't have anybody spiritually based, God-based, don't just believe what somebody says they know what they're talking about, that they do. Look at them. Look who they are. Who they are inside. I don't mean how much money they have. I mean, do they have integrity? Do they walk in their own faith? Do they walk their talk? Look at that stuff. If there's somebody in your life like that, absolutely lean on them. If not, don't just Google it and get the answers. Find someone, reach out to someone, pray about it, okay? Don't let yourself get caught up in something. And you know what? If God's leading you somewhere, amen. More power to you. You go for it. And he's going to lead you to high places. Absolutely. And God can do anything at all. And he can lead you. I mean, people can be telling you you're crazy, but if it's of God, you go for it. But make sure it's of God. All right. Until next time, you guys have a great day.